In this video, I'm going to show you my minimalist Robinhood portfolio that consists of only 3 Vanguard ETFs and returned me almost 17% this quarter. What's up guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Brad. I make videos with tips and motivation on achieving financial freedom and staying positive in life. If that's something that might make your life better, consider subscribing and hit that bell notification so you get told every single time I release a video or go live. One of the biggest questions I get asked from beginners when it comes to investing is, Brad, how do you not get flustered by all of the options out there to invest in? I mean, there are so many things that you can look at. You can look at stocks, you can look at bonds, you can look at mutual funds, and I can see why it could become really, really overwhelming. What I want to do today is show you how you could take a very minimalist approach and you can have a very small portfolio on one of the simplest trading apps there is currently on the market, which is Robinhood. I've used the Robinhood app for about 2 years now, and I've liked what I've done with it, and I've liked what it's helped me to do. It's not the best platform, but it's definitely great for beginners. I'm going to bring you into my Robinhood app, show you the features that it shows, and also show you where it limits some things and show you what else you might have to look at with Robinhood to get the full information and the full picture that you need when making the proper choices. And as always, guys, I am not a financial expert. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm a guy that invests some money as I try and reach financial freedom. I've done my own research. You should do the same. This is just for entertainment purposes only, so I could show you what a regular guy's doing on a very, very minimalist 3-fund portfolio. All right, guys, so here's pretty much what you're going to be looking at. If you look at the top right, you'll see the Robinhood app. I'm just going to click on that app. Click. They'll ask you to put in a passcode. So when you put in your passcode, it's going to bring you to the main screen. So here's the main screen that they're going to show you right now. And it's going to give you updates on the day, the week, the month, 3 months, which is essentially quarterly, a year, and then your overall percentage. And you can see these 3 simple Vanguard ETFs have returned me just about 16.5% over the last quarter, even with that big dip that we just had from September, October into December. It's still back way above where it was for 8% on the year. And I've had this for about 2 years and it's at 12.19%. So this is pretty much the main screen. This is going to be your search screen. So say you want to search something like Tesla, this is where you'd come for the search screen. And this is kind of your profile page. So right here, like your free stocks. Thank you guys so much for the people that come in and use my referral link. When you use my referral link, you get a free stock. And I get a free stock as well. So thank you to these people. I get one every couple once in a while. That link is in the description if you want to try and get on Robinhood and use my referral link. That'd be great. The account summary tells you how much you have in stock, things like that, your buying power, withdrawable cash allowed, things like that. So that's this. Let's go back to this main and we'll look at the 3 things that we have. So I have 3 Vanguard ETFs right now, and then this one Chesapeake, which was that referral link. When you look at this main screen, you're able to do a couple different things with your stock and your ETFs. If you click on them, you can look at the last price. That was the last price sold. You can look at the percent change for that day. You can look at your total equity. You can see I'm pretty balanced across all 3 of these, just about $4,800 in each. You can look at the day's return. So this would be from last Friday. It was a really good day. And then the total return that you've had. I've had VGT the longest. I pretty much got VOO and VYM at the same time, but I've had this the longest. The next thing you could do with this app, which is really, really great, is if you go into the actual fund itself, you can look at that individual fund's performance over time. So you see the VGT is up about 20% for the year, about 22% for the quarter. It gives you some information here that you can use for your position and what you're doing. And then some stats. I mean, if you're a beginner, some of these stats aren't really that big of a deal. The one that you might be looking at is on the bottom right here, the dividend yield. So VGT, which is primarily a tech stock, has a pretty low dividend rate, but it's still a little bit of something. There is a little something missing from the stats, which I'm going to show you another place where you can find out, and a stat that you really so importantly need to be looking at when purchasing any sort of mutual fund or ETF. So stick with me for 1 second. I'll show you that last stat that you really need to see. You can see the history. These are just the dividends that they paid over time. If you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to get the information. VGT tracks the market cap weighted index for information technologies and companies. And you can do this for all of your stocks. So VOO, which is my Vanguard S&P 500, once again for the year, up about 8.41%. For the last 5 years, up almost 60%. And it pays a dividend of just under 2. And that dividend actually varies from quarter to quarter, depending. And if you're not familiar with VOO, pretty much tracks the S&P 500. It's very similar to Vanguard's VTI or the VTSAX mutual fund, but this is just for the S&P 500, not the total. And then VYM is my Vanguard high dividend yield. So you're not going to see the hugest returns on this one. So it's 40% over the last 5 years, 4% for the last year, but they're going to pay a little bit higher dividend, 3.24%. And if we scroll down, show more, VYM tracks the FTSE high index yields. So those are that's it. That's all I really have right here. And guys, you could be super successful. You do not need to be, worried about having this. I'm going to show you another screen right now. So the more information that you're looking for, what we're going to do is hop over to Vanguard and look at these individual funds. I'm going to show you some things that you really, really want to see. So when you go to Vanguard's website, the first thing that I like to go to is just the compare page. Guys, on this first page, you're going to see something that's really, really important. I have all the 3 ETFs listed: VGT, VOO, VYM. They're classified as stocks because they are ETFs and you can trade them like stocks. But if we look at the 5th line down, expense ratio, and here's where Vanguard really shines above most mutual funds and ETFs. Guys, you need to be using low expense ratio ETFs and mutual funds. You are going to lose so much money over time compounding. It is going to be ridiculous. So if we look at VGT, my first one, that's 0.1%. Guys, in my recommendation, in my experience, that's about as high as I would ever go. VGT is, it's a tech stock, so it's going to have a little bit higher expense ratio. I understand that. But 0.1 really pushes my limit. Where if you look at VOO, 0.04, that's about as low as you're going to see, and that's pretty much the standard for VTSAX, VTI, things like that in the Vanguard funds. So guys, please, when you're looking at mutual funds and when you're looking at ETFs, expense ratio really, really needs to be one of the things that you're going to be looking at. And you could see Vanguard high dividend yield. It has an expense ratio, or what you're paying Vanguard to keep that fund operating, at 0.06, and that's a percentage over the year, okay? So guys, please, I can't say it enough. Expense ratio is a big deal. It's kind of why I'm against 403Bs and 401Ks, because the fees on those are going to kill you over the course of a lifetime. So take a look at your expense ratios when you are figuring out what funds you want to use. Next great thing when you go on to Vanguard's page and you start comparing your 3, these are the top 10 holdings, okay? And this is what makes you diversified in the market. So one of the reasons I don't own individual stocks is because individual stocks are individual problems, and they have individual gains, but they also have individual losses as well. So I diversify myself with these 3 funds in roughly 25 to 30 different companies. You're going to see some of these companies overlap, but when you're looking, you want to make sure that you don't have ETFs or mutual funds that have the exact same setups. For example, I would never own VOO and VTI. If you look at VOO and VTI, those would be essentially the same company setup. So right here, we're looking at the top 10 holdings, and then the tech stocks make sense: Apple, Microsoft, Visa, Intel, etc. Where the biggest companies: Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Facebook. So you can see the top 5s are a little different. We get some Johnson & Johnson in there. And then the high dividends: Johnson & Johnson, Exxon, JP Morgan Chase, Procter & Gamble. So when you're also looking at mutual funds, take a look at these particular holdings in each company. And it's one thing that I really, really wish I could find on Robinhood. You just can't right now. So if Robinhood's listening, please show me the expense ratios and please show me the top 10 holdings of the ETFs. And then pretty much Robinhood would be a one-stop shop. If you got some value out of this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more videos about personal finance and positivity. Until I see you on the next one, guys, work really, really hard. Stay positive. Be kind to others. I hope you have yourselves an amazing day and a better tomorrow.